Welcome to Light Warrior Radio, where our mission is to empower sensitive souls to harness their superpowers and shine their light, so together we can co-create heaven on earth. I'm your host, Dr. Karen Kanji, author of the #1 best-selling book, Sensitivity is Your Superpower, and founder of the Academy of Light Medicine and the Topocan Healing Method. Thank you for joining me. All right, I'm excited today to talk about the topic, what is a light warrior? What is a light warrior anyway? Now, if you're a sensitive soul like me, you're thinking, well, the word has a war in it. We don't like war, right? We don't prefer to fight and kill and maim each other. I get that piece. But there's some energy that is connected to light warrior that doesn't seem to ring the same way as what we think of as traditional, if there's such a thing as traditional, war, right? Where, countries battle each other or one locale fights another. If you look at our mythology around a warrior, it's almost like there is an elevated status to that. Like one could see, okay, maybe you're talking about people that kill the most people, but no. I think that in our society, warrior means something deeper than someone who fights or someone who knows how to fight or someone who loves to fight. I think that a light warrior, in my personal definition, is someone, a man or woman, who embraces self-mastery, self-discovery, and self-empowerment, illuminating their shadows to inspire peace, purpose, and possibility or passion, if you will. So this is a very different definition than a fighter who is just commanded to kill people because they're commanded to do so. They have to follow the rules, right? A warrior, I think, is someone who discerns what is theirs to do. And maybe a warrior's role is not to fight and kill necessarily in a particular instance, but maybe to protect, maybe to build community. So it isn't just tearing down or killing. That's not how I see a warrior to be. So when I'm talking about a light warrior, it really is someone who, if anything, is embracing their own shadow and not just wanting to get rid of it, but really learning from it, evolving through it. Because shadow work is pretty difficult for most people. And it can be very intense as well. So let me know if you have been doing some shadow work, what that is like, and whether you resonate with this whole idea of being a light warrior. Now let's go to another aspect of this topic. Now, sometimes in the spiritual circles, sometimes we do get that energy of fighting. Okay, so let's dive into that for a moment. And I've changed over the years of how I view and perceive these things. There was a time, and in fact, one of my teachers and colleagues and mentors told me that I was anointed to do entity healing work and that I was a warrior of the light and that there was some sort of battle between the light and the dark and that I was anointed to do that work, to be part of the light team. Now, I have since evolved from that perspective to realize that the yin and the yang, for example, that in some ways the dark informs the light, and you can't have the light shine unless there's darkness to shine and illuminate. So I don't really resonate as much now with the whole idea of battling the dark. And for those of you that have been following me for some time on Light Warrior Radio and maybe my weekly Spiritual Medicine Digest on YouTube, you probably have heard me say loving the darkness into the light, right? So that is more like, hey, we're made of the same stuff, the same, oneness. We're just having a different experience in our little fractal of the one, and we're interacting in a way that seemingly looks like opposites or polar opposites, the light and the dark. However, in reality, it really is just two sides of the same coin. And I talk more about some of these concepts in the Spiritual Medicine Digest. So, being a warrior of the light now, for me, is not about battling. It's not about fighting the dark. Because what I have found out and noticed, and maybe you have too, and I'd love to hear about your perspective, is that whatever we put energy to, we get more of. So and that's the law of attraction, some people call it that. So if we are focused on fighting the dark, to me, it's like the right hand fighting the left hand saying, you're bad, you should not be here, right? And no one would cut off their left hand because they prefer their right. So how is it that we can coexist and evolve each other and not be attached to this whole destruction, killing aspect of good versus evil? Because I think that's just a construct. I think that's something that we have been programmed to pay attention to. Look at all of our media, right? Look at superhero movies, which I do love, and even supernatural movies. It's all about battling the dark. Now, I take everything with a grain of salt these days, energetically and emotionally, and kind of see it for what it is. And I don't resonate with a lot of the message, although it still can be very entertaining. That I think this era of good versus evil is a very, let's just say, lesser evolved perception of reality in my, estimation of things, for what it's worth. And I don't think it works. I mean, let's give you an example. The war on cancer seemingly has not worked. It has made more cancer. There is more cancer since one of the U.S. presidents declared the war on cancer. There's more cancer now than there was before, much more. Same thing with the war on obesity, the war on drugs, anything we war against, we get more of. Now, I think energetically that makes complete sense, right? We pay attention to it, we're warring. There's a lot of energy to warring against something. It's just like fear. Fear is a really big energy. Fight is a really big energy. And in some way, shape, or form, I think that we have an addiction to fighting. Think about it. What happens when we watch a movie and there's a hero and they're fighting, right? We go, yeah, well, maybe you don't. I do. Anyway, so he's like getting the bad guy, right? But what happens to our physiology when we beat someone? If we compete with someone, we beat them. There's a dopamine hit in our physiology. We get a hit like a drug. It's a dopamine hit. We win. And I gotta tell you, even as a child, it was kind of distasteful. I think sensitive souls are a little weird that way. It has always been distasteful to me to beat someone else at a game or whatever. I learned to pretend that I liked it because everybody else did. And I thought it was super weird not to. I wanted everybody to win. And they're like, you can't have it that way, Karen. That's not the game. So, yeah, I played the game of wanting to win, but there was always some attachment of guilt as a child, like something that did not sit well with me, and now it makes complete sense. This society's addiction to this dopamine hit, I think, is perpetuating our outer manifestation of war. And also, we war in a negative sense, so to speak, or a sense that doesn't serve us. That's what I'm defining as negative at the moment. We do this thing to ourselves where we don't accept parts of ourselves and we fight against our nature. We fight against a lot of things that are part of who we are. And call ourselves bad for it, like being not organized or so-called procrastinating. Like sometimes it seems so mild and innocent to not like certain parts of ourselves or our habits. But what would happen if we accepted it all? What if we didn't war against ourselves? Would that mean that perhaps it will not have to manifest outside of ourselves in our so-called exterior world? Because if we are inside projecting what is outside, then most of the work is internal. That, my friends, is what a light warrior does, at least how I see it. So let me repeat my definition for you. This is my current working definition. A light warrior embraces self-mastery, self-discovery, and self-empowerment, illuminating their shadows to inspire peace, purpose, passion, and possibilities. I like that. So wherever you are listening, watching this, I'd love for you to post a comment. And if this resonated with you, I'd love for you to give it a like, share with others if it feels good to do so. And let's stay connected. Join me and other sensitive souls in my light medicine community. It's a safe, sacred space where we can come together to love and support each other. You can find the link in the show notes. And I'll see you there. And I'll see you back here in Light Warrior Radio next time. Much love.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you resonate with this message, please hit like and subscribe and perhaps share it with someone who's like-minded, who you think might benefit. And in the meantime, I would love for you to connect with me in my private light medicine community. It's free to join and it's for sensitive souls who desire to love and support each other. So I'll put the link below as well as other exciting offerings for this week. Much love. Thanks for watching.